Hello, hello, Itisri, Shobha, Amulya. Hello,
Yes,
Aଜ୍ଞା
sir.
sir,
Alice.
ଆଜ୍ଞା sir,
Okay, okay. Good morning, everyone.
good
Uh,
morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Yesterday we have covered law of equimarginal utility, the analysis of consumer behavior, consumer equilibrium through ordinal utility analysis and cardinal utility analysis. Indifference curve is over. Today we'll understand the analysis of demand and the supply. With this connection, we'll also understand the law of demand, law of supply. Yesterday we have discussed how price determination took place in the market. Uh, what are the key variables which affects the demand as well as the supply? There are two forces in the market. One is demand, another is supply. When the demand axis intersects the supply axis at the point E is known as the equilibrium. What is E? E is the equilibrium point. What is equilibrium? Is the state of balance where both the axis in demand and supply axis intersecting E, and where price determination took place in the market. What is price? Value expressed in terms of money is known as price. Is it clear to everyone? मन पड़ला काली कौन पढ़ी? Can you move forward?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Demand analysis काले में discussion करते ले. Demand is a principle of economics that captures the consumer desire to buy the product or service. As you know, what is demand? Demand means the desire for a product or goods and services. Dej- uh, this is the point of view, a layman point of view. Right? For an economics point of view, what is demand? Desire backed by ability to have goods and services. Okay, demand is the consumer desire to purchase particular goods and services. Desire to purchase goods and services. When a person is able to purchase goods and services, when that person have certain money income. Okay. Market demand is the demand for particular goods in the market. What is market demand? Market demand is the demand for a particular good in the market. What is market? Market is an arrangement where buyers and sellers comes, and the interaction took place between the buyers and sellers. Aggregate demand is the total demand for goods and services in the economy. What is aggregate demand? Aggregate demand is the sum total demand for goods and services in the economy. Your economy means the financial system of a country. Okay. The demand and the supply match determines the price of a goods and service. When demand and supply match, then we determine the price of goods and service. Which I am discussing for when demand axis intersect the supply axis at the point of equilibrium point E, where price determination took place in the market. I mean, देखिबा different types of market I'm discussing करिबा. There are perfect competition, imperfect competition. Under imperfect competition, we have monopoly market, a monopolistic competition, monopoly, oligopoly, duopoly. Okay, in unit mm, block 2 रे हमें एटा डिस्कशन करिबा. Market, regarding market and types of market. These are the determinants of the demand. Price of the product. When price increases, quantity demand decreases. When price increases, quantity demand decreases. When price decreases, quantity demand increases. तो हमर price टा कमुची, demand बढ़िबो. जेतरे price टा increase करूची, demand कोन करिबो, कमी जिवो. Income of the consumer. When income of the consumer is increases, then the demand for goods and services also increases. As you know, again, psychological law of consumption. When income increases, consumption simultaneously increases. Price of related goods and services, then there are complementary goods. So car or petrol, vehicles and petrol or diesels. These are the complementary goods. These goods can be used together. Complementary goods are those goods which can be used together. Okay, ଯେମିତି ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ example ନେଇଛନ୍ତି, best example, mobile phone and SIM card. You cannot place a call without SIM card. Okay. Substitute product are those products which can replace each other. ଯେମିତି ଆମର tea and coffee. These are the substitute product. Nobody consume both tea and coffee at the same time. ଆମେ କଣ generally ଆମେ କଣ either ଆମେ coffee କୁ ଯିବା ନହେଲେ टी को चूज करें. हम तो एट ए टाइम कॉफी और टी को चूज करें ना. consumption କରିବେନି ନା। if the price of coffee rise, ଯଦି coffee ର price increase କରୁଛି, the demand for tea, if the price of the coffee rises, the demand for tea should rise। ଯଦି କଫି ର ପ୍ରାଇସ୍ ଟା ବଢୁଛି, then people କୋଉଠିକି ସ୍ୱିଚ୍ କରିବେ, ଟି କୁ ସ୍ୱିଚ୍ କରିବେ। ଯଦି ଟି ର ପ୍ରାଇସ୍ ବଢୁଛି, କଫି କୁ ଲୋକ ସ୍ୱିଚ୍ କରିବେ। ଓକେ, if the price of coffee rises, the demand for tea should increase। ଓକେ, ଯେହେତୁ କଫିର ପ୍ରାଇସ୍ ଟା ବଢୁଛି, ଲୋକ କୋଉଠି ମୁଭ୍ କରିବେ, କଫିରୁ ଟି କୁ ଆସିବେ। Consumer expectation, suppose consumer, as you know, consumers are always rational। when consumer is able to expect that the price of these goods and services will rise in the future, then since ଯେତେବେଳେ କଣ କଞ୍ଜ୍ୟୁମର ମାନେ ଏକ୍ସପେକ୍ଟ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଯେ ପ୍ରାଇସ୍, ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ପ୍ରାଇସ୍ ର ଜିନିଷଟା କଣ ବଢିଯିବ, ତାର କଣ ସେମାନେ ଅଧିକ ପରଚେଜ କରିଦେବେ ଏବେ। ତା ଦ୍ୱାରା କଣ ହବ, ପ୍ରାଇସ୍ ଟା ଡିମାଣ୍ଡ ଆଉ ସପ୍ଲାଏ ଭିତରେ ଯୋଉ ବାଲାନ୍ସ ଥିଲା ସେଥିରେ ମିସମ୍ୟାଚ ହେଇଯିବ। ଆ ଦ୍ୱାରା କଣ ହବ, ଡିମାଣ୍ଡ ଟା ବଢିବ। ଯଦି ସପୋଜ ଏବେ ତାଙ୍କ ଆଇଏମଡି ଡିପାର୍ଟମେଣ୍ଟ, you know IMT department, what is IMT department, anyone what is IMT? Indian Meteorological Department। okay, मेट्रोलॉजिकल डिपार्टमेंट मैंने कौन करेंगे, गोटे कहे कि गोटे अनाउंसमेंट कर गोटे फोरकास्ट कर कि गोटे साइक्लोन आसबाक जाऊँगी, साइक्लोन आसबाक जाऊँगी, लोक मैंने कौन पैनिक हो, लोक पैनिक है कौन जो इसेंशियल कमोडिटी रहा आर कौन परचेज करने समस्ते माने जीवे। किंतु आ द्वारा कौन हम आम पाखे से सप्लाय ना, एबे लोक कौन स्टोर करेंगे रखिया आ द्वारा कौन हम डिमांड आउ सप्लाय भितर मिसमैच हो गला। मिसमैच है कौन हो, ऑब्वियसली प्राइस बढ़ी, बुझी होचे। एबे कोन अधिक डिमांड हेगला कि सप्लाई से अनुसार नहीं। when when demand exceeds in comparison to supply, then obviously there is a inflation in the economy। बुझिएला?
Yes, sir. Just like in Corona time, the demand of sanitizer and the mask.
Yes, very good example। okay, सैनिटाइजर और मास्क रो डिमांड बहुत बढ़ी गला। से समय डिमांड बढ़ी गला कि हम पाखे सेति कि हमर कोन नथिला, मास्क तयारी हो नथिला, मास्क के यूज करथि बहुत माने मेडिकल प्रैक्टिशनर से माने यूज करथि मास्क, किंतु हमर कॉमन लोक माने तो यूज करथि नि मास्क। संगे संगे मास्क रो प्राइस बढ़ी गला, तापरे गवर्नमेंट सब प्रमोट कले, लोक माने तापर निज निज घरे सब मास्क प्रिपेयर कले, तापरे कोन धीरे धीरे नॉर्मल आसिला, मास्क रो प्राइस बहुत कमी गला। ओके ओके, तापरे आसा आम डिटरमिनेंट्स पढ़िले, तापर आसीबा law of demand पढ़िबा। What is law of demand? As you know, the law of demand shows the inverse relationship between the price and quantity demanded। when the price of goods and services increases, quantity demanded decreases। when price of goods and services decreases, quantity demanded increases। मन बुझि परले, जेले प्राइस बढ़ुची, क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड कोन होची, लोककर डिमांड ता कमी जाउची। and here we are assuming other thing remaining constant। other thing, what are the other thing? Taste, preference of the consumers, income of the consumers, and consumer is a rational human being, he is able to take right decision at right time। okay, law of demand states that there is an inverse relationship between the price of a commodity and its quantity demanded। Inverse, what is inverse? Inverse is with the negative relationship between the price and quantity demanded। assuming all other factors affecting demand remain constant। demand को factor affect करंती, ए जो factor गुड़ा में पढ़ेंगे। these are factors which affect the quantity demanded। a factors of taste, preference of the consumers, income of the consumer should remain constant। यदि a factors constant रहिबेनी, हमर कोन law of demand ता काम करिबन। it means that when the price of a good falls, the demand for good rises। the goods ର price ता fall କରୁची, the demand for goods are rises। when price rises, demand falls। जो प्राइस ता पुनी अगेन इंक्रीज करची, डिमांड ता कोन होची, कमी जाउची। law of demand may be explained with the help of following diagrams, settle and call। हमें डायग्राम और सेटल रे बुझी पारिबे। कांसेप्ट बुझा पला लॉ ऑफ डिमांड रो समस्त को कांसेप्ट बुझी पारले, how the what are the inverse relationship between the law of demand, between the price and quantity demanded। okay, तापर आसंतो डायग्राम आउ टेबल पुरे हम देखिबा, डिटेल एनालिसिस करबा। here we have a demand settle px and demand। px means the price of x, x होची the commodity। okay, dx means the demand for commodity x। here when the price of a goods and price of a commodity x is 5, demand is 100 units। लोक जते प्राइस ता रुपीस 5 थिला, लोक केते डिमांड करछला, 100 units of commodities are demanded in the market। when price decreases to 4, When price decreases to 4, quantity demanded increases from 100 to 200. When again price decreases to 3, quantity demanded increases to 300. When price again decreases to 1, quantity demanded increases to 500. बुझा पड़ला demand schedule तापर आसा diagram how we can explain this table in diagram format. Here the vertical axis, this is the price. I mean, we have taken price in the vertical axis and quantity demanded on the horizontal axis. Here price, we have written price 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and quantity demanded 100, 200, 300, 400 and 500. When price is 5, quantity demanded is 100. Quantity demanded, how much quantity demanded in the market? 100. When price decreases to 4, quantity demanded increases to 200. When price again decreases to 2, quantity demanded increases to 400. And when price again decreases to 1, quantity demanded increases to 500. बुझा पड़ला? Price केमिति price कमिबा द्वारा quantity demanded केमिति बढ़ुची?
Yes, sir.
This is the inverse relationship between the price and quantity demanded. I mean, law of supply and law of demand portionti. This is the downward sloping. Demand curve is a downward sloping in the law of demand. I mean, the supply, law of supply, that there is a upward sloping. Okay. I mean, discussion kale it lekha hai je apan man jeki padhibe. Okay. What are the determinants of the supply? That law of demand is over. Then comes to the law of supply. Determinants of the supply. What is supply? First, you should know supply. What is supply? Availability of stock of goods and services केते हम पाकर stock अछि okay ताको हम supply करचंती determinants of supply definition refers the factor influencing the supply of certain goods and services को factor गुडा हमर supply of goods and services को affect करचंती. These factors include price of input. What are the factors? Price of inputs. So inputs means the raw materials which affect the price of goods and services. The company's technology, technology is the key for economic development of any countries. We are using technology, we are using capitals to produce goods and services. Future expectation, suppose future expectation, that is a people are expecting that the price of goods and services will rise in future. That's why they are getting panic and they're purchasing goods and services. They're trying to store the goods and services in order to meet future emergency. Okay, determinants of supply factors that directly affect the supply of goods and services. The determinants of the supply of factors that directly affect the supply of goods and services. These are the determinants which affect the supply of goods and services. Okay, we'll understand in details through this concept. Okay, the law of supply is the microeconomics law that states that all other factors being equal. Here equal means the constant, other thing remaining constant. Law of demand as the price of goods and services increases, quantity of goods and services that supplier offer will increase and vice versa. When the price of goods and service, here law of demand shows a direct relationship. In the law of demand, we have analyzed there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. In the law of supply, there is a direct relationship between price of goods and services and quantity supply. Okay, the quantity of goods and services that supplier offer will increase and vice versa. When quantity of goods and services will increase, as when the price increases, the price increase quantity of goods and service will increase. The law of supply states that as the price of item goes up, here goes up means increases, the supplier will attempt to maximize their profit. The supplier, those who are supplying goods and services, will try to maximize their profit by increasing the number of items for the sale. When the prices of goods and services are rising, the supplier, or you can say the producer, will find motivation to produce more goods and services, and to distribute in the market in order to get more profit from that supply. What is the motive of the producer? To maximize profit. Okay, here is that you should simple remember law of supply shows the direct relationship between price and quantity supply. Okay, When the prices are increases, the availability, the quantity of goods and services are increases. There is a direct relationship. Look at this diagram. Here we have depicted price in the vertical axis and the quantity supplied in the horizontal axis. Okay, when the prices is 20 and prices are 20, the quantity supplied is 100. When prices increases 20 to 40, the quantity supplied increases to 200. When prices again increases to prices of when price increases to 40 to 60, the quantity of price increases to 40 to 60, 60, the quantity supplied also increases from 200 to 300. Similarly, when again price increases from 60 to 100, the quantity supplied increases from 400 to 500. Here, this is the supply axis. It shows this is a upward sloping. Okay, just like your just unlike your demand axis. Demand axis is downward sloping and supply axis is an upward sloping. Are you getting my points? Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone?
So once again.
Okay. I'm repeating once again. Okay. Here, price is shown in the vertical axis. Quantity supplied is shown on the horizontal axis. Okay. When prices of goods and services is 20, quantity supplied is 100. When price increases from 20 to 40, quantities supplied is increases from 100 to 200. Okay. When price increases 40 to 60, quantity supplied increases from 200 to 300. When price increases from 60 to 80, quantity supplied increases from 300 to 400. When price increases from 80 to 100, the quantity supplied increases from 400 to 500. It shows the direct relationship in and price and quantity supplied. When price increases, quantity supplied increases, and that's why there is a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. And it is and as you know, the supply axis is upward sloping. Here, this is upward sloping, just unlike your demand axis. Demand axis कौन show करे? There is a downward axis. Demand axis कौन करे? Downward, and supply axis is upward. The law of supply is just reversed to the law of demand. Okay. I hope everything is clear to all of you. Then comes to the elasticity demand. Elasticity demand refers to the responsiveness, or you can say the degree of responsiveness of the quantity demanded of a commodity to change in one variable on which demand depends. Okay, elasticity demand is known as the degree of responsiveness of the quantity demanded of a commodity to change in one of the variable on which demand depends. As you know, there are different factors which are affect demand. In other words, it's the percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in one of the variable which demand depends. Percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in one of the variable which demand depends. I mean, we will analyze different elasticity demand, price elasticity demand, income elasticity demand, okay, cross elasticity demand. एपर्यंत जहाँ पढ़ुଛନ୍ତି बुझा पड़ुଛି ତ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ? Is it fine to everyone?
Yes,
Can
sir.
we move forward? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then comes to the price elasticity demand. Price elasticity demand is the response of quantity demanded to change in the price of commodity. It is a response of quantity demanded to change in price of commodity. How price affects quantity demanded? Price elasticity demand measures how price affects the quantity demanded. Okay, it assumes that a consumer's income, taste and price of all other goods are steady, and it measures the percentage change in quantity demanded. Okay. Okay. Look at this equation. Elasticity of price equal to change in quantity. Change in quantity. What we are measuring the price elasticity. Elasticity measuring the change. How much change is there in quantity with reference to change in price. change in quantity into 100 divided by original quantity, again divided by change in price into 100 with reference to change in original price. Change in quantity divided by original quantity, ताको हमें out की generalize करते हैं. Change in quantity with reference to change in original quantity, original price with reference to change in price. तेरा ये जो formula हमें use करके हमें elasticity of price measure करी परिबा. Okay. Okay. When the price elasticity, when price elasticity demand or PET 0, then the demand is perfectly inelastic. When price elasticity demand is 0, then the demand is perfectly inelastic. Inelastic होनी. जैसे हमारा price change होची, quantity demand रे किसी response मिलुनी. Then we can say the price that the demand is perfectly inelastic. Price elastic demand is 0, perfectly inelastic. Then the demand is perfectly inelastic. हमें कही परिबा. When there is a price elastic demand is 0, that there is no change in quantity demanded in response to change in price. There is no change in quantity demanded with change in quantity demanded in response to change in price. Price रे जते भी change आसुना नहीं, किंतु हमर quantity demand रे किछि आर फरक पडुनी. The demand curve remains vertical. When price elasticity when price elasticity demand is 0, the demand curve remains vertical. Since there is no change, we are that the demand axis is vertical. Demand is completely unresponsive to change in price. We can assume that in the life-saving drug, life-saving drug, life-saving drug, which are most essential for the survival of mankind, for survival of patient, तार demand जते बढ़ुची ना नहीं कहीं किंतु हमको सेटा कोशिश करियो पड़े. Okay. Demand is completely unresponsive to change in price. Look at this diagram. Here the quantity demanded measured in the horizontal axis, price measured in the vertical axis, P2, P, P1. Okay. And quantity demanded when this is the price P, when price increases from OP to OP1. Price increases from OP to OP1, quantity demanded is remains same OQ. When price decreases from OP to OP2, quantity demanded remains same. There is no change in quantity demanded. Are you getting my points? Look at this diagram. I'm repeating once again. Price is shown in the vertical axis, quantity demanded shown in the horizontal axis. When price is OP, quantity demanded is OQ. When price is increases from OP to OP1, quantity demanded remains same OQ. There is no change in quantity demanded. When price decreases from OP to OP2, quantity demanded is remains same OQ. There is no changes in quantity demanded with reference to change in price. Price change हेले भी हमर quantity demand रे कोनसे change आसुनी. बुझा पड़ला. तापर आसो inelastic price elasticity is between 0 and 1. Okay. If the percentage change in quantity demanded less than percentage change in price, the demand is inelastic. If the percentage change in demand is less than percentage change in price, percentage change which is demand rate, if there is a less than percentage change in price, then we can say that demand is inelastic. For instance, let us say that price of a chocolate increases from raise 10 to 20. Price of the chocolate increases from raise 10 to raise 20, and associated demand decreases from the chocolate to 5 chocolate, from 10 chocolate to 5 chocolate. एटी कोन होची प्राइस इंक्रीज करची रेस 10 to 20 को आसुची किंतु डिमांड डिक्रीज करची and the associated demand decreases from 10 chocolate to 5 chocolate. Okay, let us say that price of chocolate increases from raise 10 to 20, demand decreases from 10 chocolate to 5 chocolate. 10 टंका रु 20 टंका हमर कोन प्राइस इंक्रीज करची and demand decrease करची केते 5 ru from 10 chocolate to 5 chocolate. Okay, so now price elasticity demand will be 50% divided by 100%, which is 0.5. एठी कोन प्राइस हमर कोन 10 रु 20 को इंक्रीज करची किंतु एठी देखंतो 10 आगुर से केते परचेस करतला from 10 chocolate to 5 chocolate. Okay, so there is a 50%. So now the price elastic demand will be 50% divided by 100%, which is 0.5%. It to 10 to 20, 100%. It is 10 to 5, 50%. 50% divided by 100%, which is 0.5%. 0.5. Okay. Change in price lead to a smaller percentage change in demand. एठी कोन आछी जेतिकी चेंज आसुची change in price leads to a smaller percentage change in quantity demand. बुझा पड़ला? एठी देखंतु एठी तर प्राइस अछि suppose price increases from 10 to 14, 10 to 14, quantity demanded, suppose price increases, when price is 10, quantity is 88. When price is increases from 10 to 14, quantity demanded increases, quantity demanded decreases from 88 to 80. There is a small change in quantity demanded, which refers to change in price from 10 to 14. That's why we are considering is the inelastic demand. There is no much changes in the quantity demanded. Is it clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Come to the next slide. Elastic demand, or you can say the unitary elastic demand. When the percentage change in demand is the same percentage change in price, jati percentage amra change hochi price re, there is the same percentage change in quantity demanded. Then we can say that there is a unitary elasticity, and the price elasticity of demand is 1. The demand is unit elastic. The demand is unit elastic. For example, let us say the price of a candy drops. Price of candy drops from 10 to 5. Price of candy decreases from 10 to 5. The demand is increases 10 candies to 15 candies. एटी कौन है? Price of a candy decreases from 10 to 5. Demand is increases from 10 to 15. There is a same difference between the decrease in the price and increase in the quantity demanded. The percentage change in demand is equal to the percentage change in the price. Here, percentage change in quantity demanded is equal, percentage change in price is equal to percentage change in price. 50% divided by 50 is equal to 1. एठी जति की change आसला 50% change in price which leads to 50% change in quantity demanded. That's why 50 divided by 50 is equal to 1. Look at this diagram. Here we have taken travel in the horizontal axis and the cost of fuel in the vertical axis. This axis shows the elastic demand. When the cost of fuel is $80, how much kilometer we are traveling? 14 kilometer we are traveling. When the repeating once second. Here we have taken a travel on the horizontal axis and the cost of fuel on the vertical axis. When cost of the fuel is $100, we are traveling only 10 kilometers. Okay. When the cost of fuels decreases from 100 to 80, we are traveling 14 kilometers. Why this is happening? Because there is a decrease in the price of fuel. Okay. Is it clear to everyone? And this axis, AB axis, is to the elastic demand. Unitary elastic means how much percentage change in the price is with the equal percentage, which leads to equal percentage change in quantity demanded. Is it clear? I hope I am making sense to all of you. बुझी पारुछन समझते?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then comes the perfectly elastic. If the percentage change in demand is more than the percentage change in price, perfectly elastic. If the percentage change in demand more than percentage change in price, then the demand is perfectly elastic. For instance, 10% increase in price causes 20% drop in demand. Obviously, it is a perfectly elastic. That 10% increase the price rate, 10% increase and 20% drop in demand. Then the coefficient of price elastic demand is 3, which means the demand is perfectly elastic, and it is denoted in the is parallel to the quantity axis or horizontal axis. Perfectly inelastic रे कौन होची vertical axis and perfectly elastic रे हमरो straight line. Okay, parallel to quantity axis. Okay, or you can say the horizontal axis. Then comes the income elasticity and cross elasticity. I mean, first price elasticity, then comes to the income elasticity and cross elasticity. Income elasticity demand is the degree of responsiveness of quantity demanded due to change in consumer income. As the name suggests, income elasticity means we have taken into account the income of the consumers. It can be calculated by measuring the percentage change in quantity demanded with reference to change in income. Percentage change in quantity demanded with reference to percentage change in income. How much changes in income is there? How much changes in quantity demand is that with reference to changes in the income change haba dwara income increase haba dwara quantity demand रे केते तार impact पडुची सेटा को हमें कोथरे मेजर करंती income elasticity demand रे मेजर करंती. This is the fraction of percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in income. Okay, मान रहला समस्त को income elasticity demand is the degree of responsiveness of quantity demanded due to change in consumers income. Here we have taken into account only income, nothing else. How much changes in income is there and how much changes in the quantity demanded of that particular consumers. Then comes the cross elastic demand. Cross elastic demand of commodity of X for another commodity Y is the change in the commodity X due to changes in the commodity Y. Here we have taken into account another commodity. Okay. Cross elastic demand for commodity X for another commodity Y. Change in the demand of X. Why there is a change in demand of X due to change in the commodity Y. Change in cross elastic demand measures changes in commodity X due to changes in the price of commodity Y. How the changes in the price of commodity Y affects the demand for commodity X? It measures in the cross elasticity demand. Here delta QX, delta represent the quantity changes in quantity of X with reference to change in the price of Y. What is X and what is Y? X is a commodity and Y is another commodity. Changes in quantity of X with reference to changes in price of Y into price of Y divided by quantity of X. Okay, simple. You should remember cross elasticity of commodity X for another commodity Y is the change in the demand of demand of commodity X due to change in the price of commodity Y. Changes in the demand of a commodity X due to, or you can say with reference to changes in the price of commodity Y. Then we पढ़ी दिले substitute good, complementary goods. सेतरे हमर कोन cross elasticity हम सेठी measure करि परिबा. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
समस्ते बुझी पारुछन्ते?
Yes, sir.
Okay. तापर आसंतो demand estimation and our concept अछि तमर managerial decision. Okay, I mean demand पढिले. What is demand? What are the determinants of the demand पढिले? Law of demand देखिले, law of supply देखिले. Okay, and we have reached in a position to analyze the demand estimation. How a manager, so since you are pursuing the course of BPA management course, you are pursuing management course and you are going to the future manager and you need to estimate the demand. You need to estimate the demand so that you will get maximum profit by selling your goods and services in the market. Demand estimation is the process of predicting the future demand. It is the process of forecasting the future demand. That's why there is a there is and what is the role of the manager to do market research? Okay, for a product or service based on the historical data, how he is analyzing the market, how he is able to forecast the demand of the by analyzing the historical data, or can say the empirical data and market trend and consumer behavior. He's taking the account of the market trends, market record historical data, past year records, and consumer behavior, how consumer is behaving. Okay, behaving to the rise in the price of goods and services or decreasing the price of goods and services. It is a crucial activity in the business decision making, especially in production, marketing, pricing, and inventory management. Demand estimation is one of the crucial activities for the production, marketing, and pricing. Definition: demand estimation refers to the process of determining the expected quantity of the product. Expected quantity of the product or service that consumer will purchase at different price under various market conditions. You know, market is very dynamic. It changes from time to time. And the role of the manager is very crucial. Okay. The demand estimation, it's a process. Obviously, it is a process of determining the expected quantity of product. How much quantity of product we are going to sell. We are going to sell in the market so that we'll get maximum profit from that particular sale. Objective of demand estimation. What are the objective of demand estimation? It is the object forecasting sales. Sale को forecast करिबा. Helps to business plan production and इन्वेंटरी लेवल्स जो रॉ मटेरियल्स आसुची तार कोन हम को जिंस प्रोडक्शन करले को मार्केट रे को जिंस को हम सेल करले हम अधिक हम व्हाट इज द रोल्स ऑफ मैनेजर्स टू मैक्सिमाइज सेल तो तार सेल्स का अधिक हबो देन रेवेन्यू आसीबो अधिक टोटल रेवेन्यू इंक्रीजेस टोटल प्रॉफिट विल राइज प्राइसिंग डिसीजन assist in setting the right price for maximum profit. He must set the right price for the maximum profit. He must follow his managerial decision is most crucial for the profit of that particular organization. Marketing strategy helps to target right audience and the channels. He must target the right audience who लोको माने ताको जिंसो को purchase करूचंती. Okay. Resource allocation guides investment in capacity, labors and capital. He must guide the investment. What is investment? Anyone? What is investment? What is investment? Addition made to the stock of capital. Okay. Resource allocation guides the investment in capacity, labors and capital. काहाकु से हायर करिवो केते क्वांटिटी रो से कोन इन्वेस्टमेंट करिवो. ओके केतेटा लेबर हायर करिवो और कोन कैपिटल इंस्टॉल करिवो. ओके एटा कोन सब it depends on the managerial decision and how manager is able to take right decision by analyzing the demand, by analyzing the market. Analyzing demand means analyzing the demand of the market, how much quantity of goods and service needed in that particular region. Budgeting and planning. As you know, planning is the key to success. Without proper planning, you cannot achieve your desired goals. Useful demand estimation is useful for financial planning and performance evaluation. Performance evaluation is there, audit is there. सबल कोन हमर गोटे टाइम टू टाइम हमर प्लानिंग करा जाय, इवैल्यूएशन करा जाय, हमर कॉस्ट बेनिफिट एनालिसिस करा जाय. हम एते टका खर्च करछु, हम एते टका लाभ, हमको एते टका प्रॉफिट मिलुची. त कोन हमको टाइम टू टाइम अपन एनालिसिस करियो पड़े whether our business is going in the right direction or not. These are the objectives of demand estimation. Types of demand estimation. Short-term demand estimation. It focuses on the short-term time frame, weeks or months, and useful for inventory management and tactical decision. You should need to make a tactical decision in order to have a clarity in the market, in order to get maximum profit, in order to maximize your revenue. Okay. Long-term demand estimation employs the prediction of years ahead. For years ahead, it is long run. There is two period in the economy: short run and long run. Okay. Supports the strategic planning, plant expansion, entering the new market, long-term goals and short-term goals. Short-term goal रे कोन होची हमको प्रॉफिट मैक्सिमाइजेशन करबा कथा हबो सेल्स रेवेन्यू मैक्सिमाइजेशन हबो मैक्सिमम सेल केमथि हे पारिबो लॉन्ग टर्म अरे केमथि सपोज प्लान को एक्सपेंशन करि पारिबो न्यू मशीनरी इंस्टॉल करबा कथा होची ताको लॉन्ग टर्म रे आसे लॉन्ग टर्म गोल रे आसे शॉर्ट टर्म रे केवल हमर रेवेन्यू मैक्सिमाइजेशन करियो पड़े और सेल्स मैक्सिमाइजेशन करियो को कथा हमें डिसीजन नियंती ओके तापर मेथड्स ऑफ डिमांड एस्टिमेशन हाउ what are the methods available for demand estimation first and foremost method is a survey method consumer survey directly market researcher directly ask question to the customer about their future buying intention what are the commodity they are going to purchase in the near futures expert opinion use insight from industry expert to salesforce those who are market research manकर पारे sound knowledge अछि ताको हम expert opinion नियंती statistical method trend of product projection statistical methods माने कौन ट्रेंड चलछि प्रीवियस ईयर कौन ट्रेंड थिला एबे कौन अछि okay based on historical data project future demand and using the time series analysis they are using the time series analysis they are using the statistical tools technique to predict the demand of that particular region regression analysis that is the statistical technique that establish the relationship between demand and its determinants it establish the relationship between demand and its determinants what are the determinants of the demand price income taste preference of the consumers market experiment test the market with different price or promotes observe demand response हमें price टाको price जति हमें fluctuate करबा हम जानि परबा कोन market रे कोन response मिलुछि okay there are different methods are available to for the demand estimation Delphi method it is a forecasting process based on the expert consensus it is nothing about the by taking the opinion of the expert those who have strong insight about the market okay okay here we have already discussed these are the determinants which affects the managerial decision or the demand estimation price of the goods consumers income price of the related goods related goods means the substitute goods either substitute goods or complementary goods consumer preference you know the consumer preference varies from age to age from region to region the demands of goods and services is different in urban area and it also different in rural area advertising and promotion have certain impact to our mindset of the consumers that's why all the multinational companies hiring uh, influencer to advertise their product seasonal factors the demand for goods and service also varies from season to season okay cold drinks has certain demands in the summer season okay woolen garments has demands in the winter seasons population growth when the population of that particular community is rising the demand for goods and service obviously rise okay here we have taken a numerical example to understand how manager is able to estimate demand suppose a company want to estimate demand based on the price change it wants to estimate the demand based on the price change okay they use regression analysis and find the following equation here we have taken the quantity demand equal to 500 minus 2p so if the price is 100 then we can able to estimate the quantity demanded 500 minus 2 into 100 500 minus 200 equal to 300 units okay that is a regression technique which is used to find the demand in the market okay बुझिएला समझते को here we have 8-9 question important question you can prepare for this block okay here we have here I have given all long question okay you should prepare this long question so that it is so that it will be help to write a good answer in your exam. You should prepare note of this question. Okay, you will find question like law of diminishing marginal utility, law of demand, expand the assumption underlying this law, Samuelson definition of economics compared with the Robinson definition, cross-illustrated demand, demand estimation, managerial decision. Okay, law of equimarginal utility, differentiate between economics and economy. Since your paper is fundamental of economics, you will find the question like what is economics, what are the different definition of economics, and how it is different from economy. You may find the question like law of supply, how consumer reaches equilibrium through the indifference curve. What is indifference curve? Yesterday we have discussed. Anyone? What is indifference curve?
Indifference curve is a curve where the customer, if takes two commodities, then the satisfaction level is same within the curve.
Same for two goods. For
Same
the
for
two
two
goods
good,
or two commodities.
two commodities within
Okay,
the curve.
very good. Indifference curve is the locus of combination of two goods which yield equal level of satisfaction, to the consumer. Okay, your block 1 is over. I will share you this material. Okay, after this class over, then we can move to block 2. Okay, okay. In block 2, we have unit 5, 6, 7, 8. In unit 5, we will understand the production and market analysis. What is production? What is production? Anyone? What is production?
Production is a process production is a process where inputs are put in some
Inputs are
kind
transferred to output.
output.
Okay. Production is the process where input transformed to output, or you can say the production means the creation of utility. Okay. Unit 5 will understand the production and market analysis. We'll understand what different types of market, like starting from monopoly, starting from perfect competition, monopoly, duopoly, oligopoly. Okay. Production function, law of returns, law of variable proportion. Unit 6 will understand the cost analysis, different types of cost, short-run cost, long-run cost. Unit 7 will understand the perfect competition. Unit 8, monopolistic competition and monopoly. Okay. Okay. Let's get started. Our block 1, unit 5. What do you mean by production? As simple, production means the creation of utility. It refers to the activities which are undertaken to produce goods and services. Production means it is an activities which are undertaken to produce goods and services. Through this process, we are getting our incomes. As you know, there are 4 factors of production. Land gets rent, labor gets wage, capital gets interest, and what is remain, that goes to the entrepreneurs. Production is the process of combining various input, both materials like metal, wood, glass, plastic. These are the materials, and immaterials. Immaterials like plan, knowledge, your today important demand estimation that comes also under plan. Okay, that is immaterial. Here in the production process, we are combining both material and immaterial in order to create output. We are transforming input to output through the production process. Through this, in order to transform input to output, we are using different factors of production: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurs. Ideally, this output will be good or service which has value and contribution to the utility of individual. Today I fast to discussion kortile. Production is the creation of utility. We are creating utility. Okay, and the area of economics that focus on the production is called production theory. Production theory. What is production theory? The area of the economics that focus on the production. Production is one of the key activities of any economy. Here we have 4 factors of production: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Okay, what is the land gets, repeating once again, land gets rent, labor gets wage, capital gets interest, and entrepreneurs gets profit. Then what is production function? Production function studies the functional relationship between physical input and physical output. Here we are studying the functional relationship between physical input and physical output. It expressed in the equation Qx equal to function of Lk. Here Qx is the dependent variable, Lk is the independent variable. What is L? What is K? L is the labor, units of labor. K is the unit of capitals. Just 1 minute. कौन करे करो कौन कौन कर दे तो कौन करे करो तो कौन करे करो तो कौन करे करो इधर का सब कौन करे करो मैंने और ऐसे परिकल्पना किया पर तो this is not a kind of complex. Okay. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Production function studies the functional relationship. Here we are studying the functional relationship between input and output. How input get transformed to the output. It expressed in equation Qx equal to function of L K. Here L is the labor, K is the capital, Qx is the output to. How we are transforming input to output to. L and K is the independent variable. Labor and capital here is the independent variable. Qx or capital, Qx is the output. Output is the dependent variable. These factors affect our output. Q is the production of the commodity, or you can say the output. L is the labor, K is the capital. When labor and capitals are engaged in the production process, they transform input to output through this functional process. Look at this picture. Okay, this is the production function. Here inputs are transforming to the output. Here we have taken different factors of production, like here we are using land, raw materials, physical forces of the labors, tools, machinery, power, fuel, organization, labor, land. These factors are associated with the production. These are the inputs which helps in the production process to transform output. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Then comes the short-run production function and long-run production function. You will understand the difference between the short-run production function and long-run production function. In short-run production function, some factors are variable and others are fixed. Some factors are variable and some factors are fixed. In the long-run production function, all factors are variable. Some factors are variable. What is variable? Variables that can be changed. Okay. Why short-run production function? Some factors are fixed and some factors are variable. In the sum, what is variable? Variables are those which are used in the production process. Here we have taken the fixed variables. Fixed variables means land. Land is a fixed, and labor is a fixed. Labor is a that can be changeable.
Variable.
Okay. All factors are in the long run. All factors are variable. Short period production function is a variable proportion type that can be changed. Some factors can be changed and some factors cannot be changed. Long period production function is a constant proportion type. It's a constant. Okay. Scale output remains constant. Scale output, how much we are producing, is constant. Scale output can be changed. Behavior of output studied with reference to law of returns to factor or law of variable proportion. आमे ए short term production function को details रे बुझिबा through the law of variable proportion रे. And the long run production function can be analyzed, can be understood through the return to scale. Okay. First, we will understand what is law of variable proportion. Law of variable proportion is very important law in economics. It's one of the important law in economics with associated with the production function. Basically, it is a certain production function. It examines production function of one variable factor keeping other factor constant. With one variable factor and keeping other factor constant. Here we have taken one variable factor and one fixed factor. Got a variable factor नौचंती, I got a fixed factor नौचंती. It is also known as the diminishing return. The law of variable proportion is also known as a law of diminishing return. It examines the production function with one variable factor, one fixed factors. Okay, gote variable factor नौचंती, gote fixed factor नौचंती. Variable factor labor, fixed factor होची के land. Land is a fixed factor because land is immobile. We cannot transform the land from one particular region to another region, but labor can be changeable. Okay, according to this law, when variable factor is added more and more to a given quantity of fixed factor in the production process. According to this law, when variable factor is added more and more to given quantity of fixed factor in the production process, the total product may initially increase. When variable factor added more and more to quantity of fixed factor, here we are combining both variable factors and fixed factor to produce goods and services. The total output may initially increase. First initial phase re increase karibo, the total output may initially increase at an increasing rate. Increasing rate re increase karibo, increasing rate to reach the maximum point, after which resulting increase in output becomes smaller and smaller. First peak point say increasing rate re increase karibo, then diminishing rate, then start decreasing. Okay, what are बुझा पड़ला concept of law of variable proportion? Is it clear to everyone the concept of law of variable proportion?
Yes, sir.
Okay, जो न बुझी परिबो कहबो हला, हमको स्पीड रे जिबार अछि किंतु your understanding is matter to me. Technology is constant because we have a limited time. हमको केवल 10 दिन मिलछि, आ भितर हमको सारिबार अछि. Okay, assumption, here we have taken assumption in order to test this law. Technology is constant, labor is the only variable factor, at least one factors of production is fixed. Here what is one factors of production fixed? हमें assume करबा का land को. There must be possibility of varying the proportion of factors of production. There must be possibility of varying the proportion of factors of production. Our proportion ta hame change kari pariba. All units of labor are homogeneous. All units of labor are homogeneous means the efficiency of the labor is homogeneous. Okay, efficiency of homogeneous throughout this production process. Homogeneous means same. Okay, look at this table here. Units of land is the fixed factors. Our पाखरे केते land अछि? 10 acres of land. Units of labor, as you know, labor is a variable factors, that's why we can change. You can change from 0 to 1 to 3 4 5 6 7. I mean change kari parba, kintu land is a fixed factor that we cannot change. I mean taku change kari paribani, that is given. Then the total production, when units of land is 10 acre and units of labor is 0, total production is nothing. Total production is also 0. And when total production is 0, average production is 0 and marginal production is also 0. When we have added 1 units of labor, 10 acres of land, 1 units of labor leads to total production 20. Total production 20 and average production, how we can determine average production? Total production divided by number of factors of production, well labor to kame taku kono divide kar da, 20 divided by 1, sorry, total production divided by 1 equal to average production 20. When number of units of labor increases from 1 to 2 and land is remains same 10 acres and total production is increases to 50. total production increases to 50 and average production 50 divided by 2, 25. Again, when the variable factors labor increases to 4, total production is increases to 120. 120 divided by 4 केते होची 30. Average production is 30. Okay, this is the average production केते होची total production, units of labor and units of plant which पडला. Then comes to the margin production. What is margin production? Addition made to the total production. Average production it केते first number 0, then 20, then 30. How 30? 50 minus 20, 30. 90 minus 50, 40. 120 minus 90, 30. This is the first stage, 20, 30, 40. Here is a increasing stage. Total production is increasing at a increasing stage. Okay, first stage. MP is greater than MP. MP, what is MP? Marginal product is greater than average product. At the court. 30 is always greater than 25, 40 is always greater than 30. Marginal product is greater than AP. When after crossing the first stage, the second stage, marginal product equal to average product. MP equal to AP. Okay. In the second stage, this is the second stage. Okay. The second stage 20. 140 minus 120. Marginal production is 20. 150 minus 140. Marginal production is 10. Okay. When total production is 150, the total after reaching a point, after reaching to have discussed definition देखिले, after reaching the peak point, then there is no increase, there is no more increase in the total production. एठी कोन हमें units of labor नोतले केते 6 टा लेबर नोतले, land तो सेम अछि 10 acres land नोतले, हम total production 150 होचंती. ता परे जति हमें आउट लेबर हायर करिपा, suppose we are hiring 7 units of labor or 8 units of labor, sorry 7 units of labor, where total production is remains same 150. Suppose our total units of labor is increases from 7 to 8. Here we are increasing the units of labor 7 to 8 and units of land is 10 acre. Our total production is decreasing 140. Okay, here the is the 150 minus. Why this is happening? Because of the, as you know, labors are not we are using more labor and the same units of land. Okay, the efficiency of labor maybe decreases. That's why there is a decrease in the total production. The fertility of land maybe decreases. That's why there is a decrease in the total production. Okay, average production, we calculate 140 divided by 8, 17.5. 150 divided by 7, 21.3. Okay, it the commercial production 140 140 minus 150 minus 10. जति हमें 140 रु 150 को माइनस करछंती हम मार्जिनल प्रोडक्ट बाहर करिया केते आसबो 10 आसुजी. दिस द नेगेटिव रिटर्न्स. फर्स्ट हला इंक्रीजिंग रेट रे जेबो, तापर डिमिनिशिंग रेट रे जेबो, तापर डिमिनिशिंग, तापर डिक्रीजिंग रेट रे आसे. ओके, increasing return to increasing returns, then diminishing return, then decreasing returns. Okay, first हमरा एट देखो डायग्राम रे देखले बुझी परबो. This is the first stage, second stage, this the third stage. बुझा पड़ला समझते को? Is it clear to everyone? टेबल बुझी परले समझते? Why nobody is responding? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
We should stop here. Tomorrow we'll continue law variable proposition. We'll understand from the stage 1 in detail, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 in details. Okay. Table बुझा पड़ला तो समझते को? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. You should stay online. You have one more class.
ଏଇଟା ରେକର୍ଡିଂ ଟା କୋଉଠି ସେଭ୍ ହଉଛି ଜାଣିପାରିବେ କହିପାରିବେ କି କିଏ?
Hello students, good morning.
Morning,
Good
madam.
Good morning, madam. Good morning. Very good morning. First class ସତେଜ ପିଲାମାନେ start କରିବା କି? ପିଲାମାନେ
morning.
ଆଚ୍ଛା ଚାଲ ସବୁ ଅଛ ତ students?
ସମସ୍ତେ ଅଛନ୍ତି।
ସମସ୍ତେ ଅଛନ୍ତି ଚାଲ wait a moment. ଦେଖାଯାଉଛି ପିଲାମାନେ slide? Is it visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Chalo. See, in the MCP paper, we have completed already concept of management, right? What is management? Apart from this nature, features, characteristics of management, functions of management. Apart from this, we have completed what? Process of management and its objectives. Apart from this, we have completed different roles played by a manager in the organizations and level of organization and skills of a manager, right? So what are the roles in and functional area of a manager and what are the levels of management already we have completed. So today we will discuss what? Now we will discuss about FW Taylor. Okay. So today we will discuss about FW Taylor. FW Taylor, Henry Fayol, and Elton Mayo. Three prominent and eminent personalities are there in your syllabus. So we will start from the FW Taylor. Who is FW Taylor and what are the contribution by FW Taylor towards organization and management? Okay. So students, FW Taylor, the name of the FW Taylor, it is Frederick Winslow Taylor. Good a second. The full name of the FW Taylor, right? FW Taylor. The full name of the FW Taylor is Frederick Winslow Taylor. Nata man rakhibo. Hela. Frederick Winslow Taylor was the father of scientific management. FW Taylor, Frederick Winslow Taylor was the father of scientific management. He was born in 1856 and died 1915. FW Taylor was the American engineer. He was a great and prominent engineer at America, right? FW Taylor was the person who not only famous for his contribution, but also he famous for his personality, right? He basically, we can say, his personality, very dynamic personality, was there, held by FW Taylor. He started his career in a very early stage, Taylor, around 18 years of age, right? And as a management trainee, and after that, he worked in a prominent organization, like three prominent organization and famous organization. He worked as an engineer, right? He worked first he sought and he worked as an engineer in a Simon rolling mill. Then he worked in a Bethlehem steel plant. Then he worked in a Midwell steel plant. So these are the different kind of factories and manufacturing sectors where F.W. Taylor worked, and through his experience and through his basically we can say his experience, he contributed many things towards the society and organization. Based on his experience in this particular organization, prominent organization, Bethlehem, Simon Rolling Mill, and Midwell. Right? He said, F.W. Taylor said, every organization should select right people at the time of 18th century, যদি আমি 18th century এটা 18th century story. So 18th century रे सेमती किछि facility सेमती किछि माने जेमती हमें कहिबा training centers, prominent educational institutions ए सब जनरली हमें कहिबा नथिला, बहुत क्वचित बहुत कम. आज का डेट रे 21st century रे जेते सब हम अवेल करछे से टाइम रे ए सब किछि भी नथिला. Right? So 21st century, in the technological advancement era, we are the people, we are enjoying advanced technology and we are using advanced technology. But at that moment, all those facility was not there. That time, the contribution by these people like F.W. Taylor, Henry Fowler, and Mayo to our society, it was the golden era at that particular period of time. And F.W. Taylor, what he said in a general sense, he said, every organization have to select the right person in the right job. After selection, it is the responsibility of the organization. The organization must train the people. It means give training to the people very adequately and place them where they suited. After training, place the person where they suited. Samane duty suitable have jo position in the organizational hierarchy. Already we have discussed yesterday, top level, middle level, lower level. Where they suited, it is the responsibility of the organization place the person, and then after remunerating them handsomely. खाली ताको प्लेस करदेले हबनी, ताको कोन करा जिवो ना handsomely remuneration provide करिबा निहाती दरकार, so that the person motivate and satisfy in the organization, and the person will contribute towards the organization like many things. Contribution towards the organization can be possible. Major contribution. Right? So if the organization will motivate the employee needs, satisfy the employee need, it is vice versa concept. So employee also give that much of effort towards the organization. So that said by F.W. Taylor, based on his experience. And F.W. Taylor, he wrote, आमे केमती जानिले से सबु से कंट्रीब्यूशन कले कहि. F.W. Taylor, generally, he wrote many books, many publications towards the society and management at that time. बहुत बही लिखिले, बहुत publication कले, जोथि पाई कि to create to aware society and the organization, right? Based on his many contribution towards organization and society, the prominent contribution out of many contribution, the prominent contribution he wrote to many books. Out of many books, the prominent 2 books he wrote. At the year of 1903, he wrote Shop Management. The book name was Shop Management. And at the year of 1911, he wrote book Principles of Scientific Management. 1903 shop management, and 1911 principles of scientific management. Based on his contribution, no, we will discuss the different principles contributed by F.W. Taylor. That's why he is presently also, he is a father of scientific management. से आजी नाहंती बट तांको कंट्रीब्यूशन पई से वर्ल्ड रे आजी भी हमें तांको फादर ऑफ साइंटिफिक मैनेजमेंट बोली ही कहूचे राइट सो कोन तांकर कंट्रीब्यूशन थिला कहारो ना एफडब्ल्यू टेलर कर कंट्रीब्यूशन कोन थिला पिला माने बुझिलो कि तांको माने अबाउट एफडब्ल्यू टेलर इज इट क्लियर ना किछि
Yes, ma'am.
अच्छा हैला एति के फर्स्ट रे तांको ऊपर लिखिबो हैला हु इज एफडब्ल्यू टेलर First, you have to write a brief about F.W. Taylor. ठीक है? Then we will discuss his contribution. कौन से contribute करिथिले society को जोटा कि हमें कहिले through the principles of the book. He wrote the book, The Principles of Scientific Management. In this book, his contribution, like he contribute techniques of scientific management that we will discuss. And also, he contribute the principles of scientific management. Right? Some techniques of scientific management and some principles of scientific management contributed by F.W. Taylor. So according to him, first technique towards the organization and management he contributed, that is the functional foremanship. Now, what do you mean by functional foremanship, dear students? See, functional foremanship means functional. Already we have discussed, I told you yesterday, no, every organization, every business organization having a different functional area. The major functional area like HR, marketing, finance, production, no, research and development, IT, information technology. These are the major functional area. It is there in the organization. So though F.W. Taylor, he was an engineer and he worked in a manufacturing area, no factory manufacturing area, in a production area. Based on his idea, based on his experience, he contributed this functional foremanship towards the production area, specifically for the production area. How the organization will manage its production, how the organization will increase its production based on the hierarchical position in the exclusively in the production area. So you can see this slide here. According to him, in a production area, first, if we can say the factory manager is there. First, factory manager, yes. Already we have discussed yesterday, no, the roles and skills of a manager in a factory, in an organization, in an industry. So the first top level person is the factory manager. Under the factory manager, 2 persons must be there in a functional production area. One is the planning officer, second one is the production officer. Right? Under the planning officer, there are four persons. Right? Route clerk, instruction card clerk, time and cost clerk, and discipline officer. Under the production officer, again, gang boss, speed boss, repair boss, and inspector. And see, here, you can see the hierarchical position. In this area, the factory manager will give order and instruction to the planning officer and production officer. The planning officer instruct to this 4 person, and the production officer also will instruct to this 4 person. And this planning officer and this clerk, those are under the planning officer and production officer, they will give instruction to the workers. So this is the hierarchical position in a production area. While reporting will be there here. The worker will report to this officers, this persons, no? Those are there in a middle level. These are the clerk and boss are there. Will report to this person. And these persons will report to the planning officer and production officer. And the planning officer and production officer will report to the factory manager. This is the hierarchical position in a factory said by F.W. Taylor. And through this, the production can be possible, through the effective production can be possible in every factory. Right? So here, see, planning officer, under the planning officer root clerk. Now, what is the work of the root clerk? The root clerk have to decide the sequence of work. It means the step by step of work. Rasta dekheibo. Kaha pare kou kamata habo. First kota habo, second kota habo, third kota habo, step by step work. That is the responsibility of the root clerk. Right? After that, instruction card clerk. It ye madhya sequence basis re pilamane. On the basis of chronological sequence. तापरे ही सही कामटा ही परिबो. जो पर्यंत जेमते हमें प्लानिंग करना थिबा, without planning, organizing cannot be possible, and without organizing, staffing cannot be possible. Likewise, without root clerk, instruction card clerk work may not be done. Right? So after completion of the root clerk, that give instruction towards the production, then instruction card clerk. What is the work of the instruction card clerk? Give general instruction towards the people. How they will do the work. केमिति समाने कामो करिवे काहाकू वर्कर्स को. Root clerk will decide the sequence and step of work, and the instruction card clerk will give the instruction to the worker how the worker will do their work. Based on the time and cost clerk. Time and cost clerk said, for this particular production, how much time and how much money must be invested in that particular area. How much time will means required, and how much money will invest to production of such kind of product. कितने time हमें invest करिबा और कितने दिन, कितने मास, right? कितने time, कि गोटे घंटा, and कितने से इतने हमरो पैसा invest of how much money must be invested in that particular area. Then after, discipline officers. Discipline officer, obviously, to maintain discipline among the workers, conflict, dispute should not be there, right? And through peace and discipline, peace, harmony, the worker must work in the production area. That is the responsibility of the discipline officials, right? So F.W. Taylor suggested the division of factory based on this planning official, based on the one area, one department, we can say. And another department, it is the production officer department. Now the production officer department having 4 lower level people under the production officers. It is a gang boss, speed boss, repair boss, and inspector. It is a hierarchical position. Means it is a chronological sequence. So what? Gang boss, what is the work of the gang boss? The work of the gang boss, first the person have to identify and confirm the machine, tools, equipments, everything is ready or not. It means it is a responsibility of the person arrange all the materials, tools, machines, and other required resources for productions. Right? Without this, production it cannot be possible. Right? So it is a responsibility of this person, gang boss. Once this person work over, then it is the work of the speed boss. No? What is the speed of work? so that we can complete the work in time. It means timely completion of work. कितने स्पीड रे आमे काम करिबा जोटा कि आम कामटा टाइम रे कंप्लीट हो ना कि आमे पाठ पढ़िबा एग्जाम सरिला पर्यंत आमे पढुतु माने एग्जाम पूर्व तो आमे पाठटा को कंप्लीट करिया पड़िबो ना वी हैव टू कंप्लीट आवर टास्क बिफोर एग्जामिनेशन सो सेंती हमरो जेतिक स्पीड रे काम करिबा सो दैट वी कैन रीच बिफोर द टाइम वी हैव टू डू एवरीथिंग दैट इज द रिस्पांसिबिलिटी ऑफ द स्पीड बॉस again repair boss responsibility of the repair boss if any kind of problem any kind of what any kind of means any kind of defect it may be there in machine tools or equipments it is a responsibility of the repair person the person have to repair everything siye kona repair karibe ah अन्य लोगों द्वारा करि पारंती सीए करि पारंती repair everything and up to date and everything it must be in a good condition should be there in the factory best condition re thiba darkar good condition re thiba darkar every machine tools and equipments and last one is the inspector what is the work of the inspector inspector the final once the production the production of product is done then it is a responsibility of the person inspector check the quality no and it is a responsibility of the person quality can control no whether it is everything is okay or not that and basing on this the product we will sell towards the market that is the last responsibility of the inspector check the quality of the product everything is okay or not okay tested product right any kind of defect any kind of kichi bhi nathibo sabu kichi pura perfectly thibo so this is the responsibility of the inspector according to FW Taylor dear students what I told you every factory whatever may be the factory one person cannot handle cannot control the entire activity of the factory so here these are the persons highly essential to produce a product and to basically run the business, run the production area very smoothly. That's why he said these are the hierarchical position, highly essential for the factory, and the order must be come from the top to bottom, and the reporting it must be go from bottom to top. Manager under the manager officers, under the officers the admin or clerks must be there and under the person workers must be there. These things yesterday we have already discussed in the hierarchical position. Those things said by FW Taylor in a functional foremanship. Clear? बुझिलो कि पिला माने?
Ma'am, you said order will come from top to bottom and the other thing.
And the reporting.
Okay,
Reporting will goes from bottom to top.
okay, thank you.
Okay. Order सबुबले किए देबे रे मैनेजर मते देबे मु कोन मैनेजर को देई परिबी नो so manager will instruct me he will give order suppose आमे कहबा हमर डीडीसी रे हैला order मते किए देबे डायरेक्टर order देबे मो सुपीरियर मते order देबे मु तांको कोन करिबी रिपोर्ट करिबी yes sir मु या करि दे I have completed my task right so order will come from top to bottom and report will goes from bottoms to top हैला एटा बुझी गलो नेक्स्ट बा नेक्स्ट बा पिला माने अन्य माने
Yes, ma'am.
I hope कि सब सुनुच आ बुझुच
Yes, ma'am.
ओके तापर चलो सेटा फर्स्ट टेक्निक पिला माने जेटा कि हमें कंप्लीट करले देन सेकंड एंड थर्ड को हमें कंबाइन कर दबा मोशन स्टडी एंड टाइम एंड मोशन स्टडी हम एडी कहि परिबा हैला टाइम एंड मोशन स्टडी सेकंड टेक्निक ऑफ FW Taylor motion study and time study कहचंती हमें कंबाइन करी की पढि दबा टाइम एंड मोशन स्टडी then fatigue study then method study then standardization then mental revolution ठीक है what do you mean by this see time and motion study. Motion माने कौन रे? Movement. Hela? Motion means it is the movement of a person. Here, motion study said movement of a person, an employee or a worker moving in the organization, and here to there unnecessarily. It means what? The person is tamane kono moving here to there unnecessarily mane kono asi kale epot sepot buluthubo ki na semiti nu. Motion study said the person moving here to there, that is not required, that is unnecessary. Kemiti ma'am unnecessary? I will tell you. So that unnecessary moment, those are the unnecessary moment of an employee, of a worker, those are moving here to there. That we have to eliminate unnecessary moment. Eliminate kar deba unnecessary moment. Reduce kar deba unnecessary moment. So that we can save time and increase production can be possible. Madam, how it can be possible? देखो पिला माने जोटी हमर प्रोडक्शन अछि जोटी हमें प्रोडक्शन एरिया अछि हमें सेठी सब जिंस प्रोवाइड करबा जेमति कि रॉ मटेरियल it must be there in that particular area. Equipment, all the resources and equipments is also necessary for that particular area. Washroom वगैरह जोटा की necessary things, drinking water, washroom, it is highly essential things, no? It must be nearest in that production area. जिते जिते जिंस अच्छी जोटा की नेसेसरी करूची प्रोडक्शन एरिया को हमें कौन करिबा ना every necessary things it must be there in that particular area so that people will not move here to there unnecessarily. एटू कौन हबो पिला माने ना आमे कौन करिबा रॉ मटेरियल लानिया पई कहि कि आमे हमरो प्रोडक्शन एरिया अछि ग्राउंड फ्लोर रे रॉ मटेरियल लानिया पई आमे जाउथबा कोठु को ना टॉप फ्लोर को हैला वॉशरूम बारंबार जीवा हमरो वॉशरूम बहुत दूर रे अछि आमे ड्रिंकिंग वाटर बहुत दूर रे अछि किछ इक्विपमेंट किछ नेसेसरी थिंग्स सेटा बहुत दूर रे अछि नो ए सब जदी हैला वर्कर्स माने कोन करिवे दे विल मूव frequently here to there and ultimately the last of the means end of the things what will happen feel tired fatigue and ultimately reduce of production and activity will be there. So it is a responsibility of the organization. The organization have to eliminate and reduce the unnecessary movements. Eliminate kar deba pura kati deba unnecessary movement ko. And all the necessary things we have to give in that particular area so that the worker they can save time and they and the production and productivity will be increased. ସେଇଥି ପାଇଁ ଯଦି ଆମେ କହିବା ଯଦି ଆମେ ଏଠି एग्जांपल नबा देखो उत्कल यूनिवर्सिटी काहेकि लोक मानकु कैंपस भितरे हाउसिंग फैसिलिटी दिए ना ड्यू टू आमे अधिक टाइम दे परिबा काहाकू ना एजुकेशन को अधिक टाइम दे परिबा काहाकू रिसर्च को अधिक टाइम दे परिबा काहाकू स्टूडेंट्स को एवरी फैसिलिटीज इट इज इनसाइड द कैंपस एवरी फैसिलिटी इट इज देयर इनसाइड द कैंपस काहेकि सब यूनिवर्सिटी नियो सब एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस नियो यूनिवर्सिटीज नियो राइट every facility housing facility it is there inside the campus जोटा कि within a 5 minute you can reach 5 minute भितरे तुम reach करि परिबो तमरो डिपार्टमेंट रे तमरो ऑफिस रे any necessary any emergency any kind of things are there so you can reach within 5 minutes मंदिर जीवो जाओ भितरे अछि पाठ पढाइबो पिलांको अछि स्कूल अछि राइट तमे माने तमरो मॉर्निंग वॉक करिवो सेठी अछि खाइबो कैंटीन अछि every facilities every benefit every facilities it is inside the campus why because we can save time तमे कोन करिवो खाइबा कुछ भी कहिबो जीवो मैडम रास्ता रे मोर लेट हे गला ट्रैफिक जाम थिला मु कोन करिवि मो घर एते दूर मु आसीबा जीवा आसीबा रे मते बहुत टाइम नै गला सो मु मोर मो हाथ रे इतरे किछ नै इट इज आई एम वेरी हेल्पलेस ए सब आसी के गाइबो जोटा कि हमर इतरे एजुकेशन को हमें बिल्कुल हमें रिसर्च एजुकेशन स्टूडेंट्स हम डेवलपमेंट पे सेति के टाइम दे परिबा नहीं ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ଆମେ କଣ କରାଗଲା ନା every facility it must be there in nearest the person so that we can save time and we can give more effort towards the organization. We can spend more time and more things dedication towards the organization. Same things ଯଦି ଆମେ individual ଆମେ ଇଏରେ ନବା ହେଲା individual life ରେ ପିଲାମାନେ ଆମେ time को ଆମେ save କରୁଛେ टाइम स्टडी जोटा कि आमे कहूचे मोशन स्टडी कहूचे देखो आमे आमे बसचे पाठ पढिबा पई हैला हम टेबल ऊपर हमको बारंबार उठिया को पड़िबो मोशन स्टडी फ्रीक्वेंटली जेमति कि आमे कोन करबा फ्रीक्वेंटली टिके बस पढिया को बसते हमको कोन हमर मदर डाकिला रे बापा टिके कामडा कर देबो टिके पढिया को बसते हमको फादर डाकिले टिके पढिया बसते कोन पानी पीवा को इच्छा हला टिके पढिया बसते कोन हला बुक्स ता हमको राख आनिया पड़ला हां एमिति जति बारंबार आमे डिस्ट्रैक्ट होबा ताहले आमे पाठ कंसंट्रेट करि परिबा नाही if we will move frequently here to there then we cannot concentrate towards our study right that's why dear students so motion study आमे कोन कहूची म एतिक टाइम पढुची ना I will give time only I have to fix a standard time and this much of time I have to dedicate towards my study so please don't disturb me so musit uthibini madhya I'll eliminate all the unnecessary moments and the I will give such this much of time towards my study and I will complete my task right same things no it applicable for every it is not only applicable it is not only said by for production area by FW Taylor no it is applicable for the individuals time and motion study time ei jo moina घंटा टी पढैली आउ जीवन रो लाइफ रो काहारो केते बेले भी 1 आवर आउ आसीबो नाही ये पास्ट रही गला राइट ei 1 आवर आउ आसीबो कि ना it is very precious each and every moment is a very precious moment of every individuals so we have to utilize properly we have to utilize effectively no ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ we have to eliminate all the unnecessary moment and we will give our means we have to means our full focus full time towards our work towards our study towards the organization towards whatever may be there right so this is the thing said by FW Taylor time study as well as the motion study how much time we are giving towards home and all the unnecessary moment we have to eliminate here then he said fatigue study fatigue माने कोन रे पिला माने fatigue माने हला जोटा कि टायर्ड फील करबा feel very tired काहे कि टायर्ड काहे कि फील करबो obviously it leads to motion study also if you will move here to there frequently without any rest without any interval right so definitely the frequency no while you are moving here to there without any interval and rest definitely the person feel tired ultimately no so here what we will do according to FW Taylor the organization will eliminate all the unnecessary moment towards the no so that we can give more time effort towards our work towards our job apart from this also it is a responsibility of the organization the organization should give some rest interval towards the workers and towards the employee so that the employee and worker will not feel tired and so ultimately they'll complete the task very effectively and efficiently so brief rest interval is highly essential highly required अच्छी आज का डेट रे आमे जदि 1948 परे हमर जो फैक्ट्री एक्ट आसला इंडिया के भी फैक्ट्री एक्ट अडॉप्ट कला रे 1948 फैक्ट्री एक्ट इंडिया अडॉप्ट कला सेतले अडॉप्ट करिछि सेतले देइछि रेस्ट इंटरवल प्रति 5 घंटा रे हाफ एन आवर रेस्ट दिया जिवो एवरी 5 आवर रे हाफ एन आवर रेस्ट दिया जिवो apart from this ता भीतर टी ब्रेक भी अछि apart from this हमर कोन अछि ना हमर लंच ब्रेक अछि 1 आवर एमिति करी कि पूरा बहुत बढ़िया से डिजाइन करछि फैक्ट्री एक्ट 1948 केमिति कला बेस्ड ऑन एई एमान को कंट्रीब्यूशन रो राइट ये तो 18th सेंचुरी करथिले हम इंडिया 1948 आफ्टर इंडिपेंडेंस ऑफ इंडिया फैक्ट्री एक्ट जेते आसला से पूरा सुंदर भाबे ताको डिजाइन करछि केमिति करले एमानक कंट्रीब्यूशन एमानक एक्सपीरियंस रो राइट सो दिस इज व्हाट द फैटिक स्टडी सो हम एटी कोन कहले brief rest interval it highly essential towards the worker and employee so that employee will not face any kind of tired right then asile kono method study mane kon pila mane method means technique to do the work ame samaste पाठ पढिबा बट जने फर्स्ट क्लास पाइब काई से फर्स्ट क्लास पाइला मैडम मु भी तो सेती पाठ पढतिली मु काई फर्स्ट क्लास पाइलेनी तार टेक्निक डिफरेंट तमो टेक्निक डिफरेंट मार्केट रे बहुत ऑर्गेनाइजेशन अछि बट किछ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन अछि टॉप रे अछंती सब ऑर्गेनाइजेशन काम करछंती सब ऑर्गेनाइजेशन फैसिलिटी दोछन ताले से कांगी टॉप को गला तार काम करिबा टेक्निक डिफरेंट टेक्निक इट मींस हाउ it is the method means it is a technique the best way to doing the work the best way to doing the job कितने सुंदर भाव रे तमे कामटा को कंप्लीट करि परछो समस्त अछंती बट आउट ऑफ मेनी वन पर्सन हमें ताको कोन करछे बेस्ट रे काउंट करछे काहे कि ना तार टेक्निक तार मेथड इट इज समथिंग डिफरेंट फ्रॉम अदर्स right and we will adapt such kind of technique and method in the production area so that what will happen we will adapt the best way to doing the job best way to doing the work then we should minimize the cost of production and minimize the cost and maximize production zero defect product रे कोनोसी डिफेक्ट रहइबनी कॉस्ट को हमें कमाई परिबा unnecessary नष्ट करिबानी पैसा unnecessary नष्ट करिबानी प्रोडक्शन रे नो and we can maximize our production quality product quantity maximization of quantity as well as quality that is the method and the technique adopted by the organization in the production area and through this the customer satisfaction also can be possible and based on this organization will be there in a top positions right so this is what the method study standardization mane kon re standardization means see it is the we can say we have to maintain standard less than the standard ame कहिबा मो स्टैंडर्ड होचे या मु कहबी मो स्टैंडर्ड होचे या मु ता तळु को जिबिनी ता तळु को मोर स्टैंडर्ड हला ता माने we should fix a benchmark less than that if we will do then it will means deteriorate our organization and our product means we have to maintain a standard towards quality रे हमें compromise करिबानी no this is our standard जहा होउछो हमर एई क्वालिटी रहिबा दरकार related to quantity एई क्वांटिटी हमें मेंटेन करिबा जदि आठु कमी जिवो ताहले हम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कोन हबो ना सस्टेन करि परिबोनी कि हम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन रा हमर जो पोजीशन तळुको आसी जिवो we have to maintain time right so here we can say standardization means it is we can say it is a simplification of work related to quality quantity time everything we have to maintain a standard gotiye standard ame maintain kariba and that kind of things we have to provide to us this customer and the society our standard hela ki customer ro problem ame within I mean as soon as possible very quickly we have to solve the customer's problem seta hela our standard customer kebe bi haras habon ame jaha hela bi customer ko ame satisfy kariba customer product खराब हला तो एते कि दिन भीतर यदि खराब हला हमें ताको नुवा प्रोडक्ट दे देबा बट कस्टमर इट मस्ट बी हैप्पी कस्टमर रिटेंशन शुड बी देयर एटा हला हम स्टैंडर्ड सेटा हला कोन कुहा जाउची सो रिलेटेड टू क्वालिटी क्वांटिटी टाइम we can say facility benefit customers every area we have to maintain one standard right so सेटा को कुहा गेला standardization it related to machine tools equipment also आमे सही मशीन रखिबा सही स्टैंडर्ड रे तळु को आसीबानी tools be, equipment be, raw material, घटिया माने ये raw material हम आनी बनिया. We have to purchase a quality raw material so that we can produce quality product and we can give quality product to the customer. And based on this, customer satisfaction can be there, will be there. पिला माने गोटे second hold करो, गोटे second hold करो. अपना पिला माने hello students.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. So this is what the standardization. Then let's move towards the mental revolution. Now mental revolution कौन है? Mental revolution means, see, mental means it is the thought process, mentality. Not some kind of perception, mentality, and thought process held by the workers towards the employees, towards the organization, and same kind of things held by the employers towards the workers and employees. It means, see, in an organization, I am already पढ़िले कोठी functional foremanship रे factory manager, it may be the owner of the company, or it may be the ame कहि परिबा the top positions of a person. जे कि रहिला as a employer, we can call as a employer. Other area, employees and workers are there. Already ame पढ़िले. एठी कौन हबो mental revolution कहूची. एठी कौन हबो ना employer सबु बेले ता mentality रे हां गोटे mentality fix करिवो कौन ना वर्कर आग होचंती अति निकमा अति को काम को नुहति आग they are not effective, not efficient, not that much of no talented for towards work. They are only wasting time. ए सब कौन चिंताधारा रखियो किए कहलो एम्प्लॉयर. वर्कर्स और मैनेज एम्प्लॉय कौन रखिबे ना आम एम्प्लॉयर तार निज बेनिफिट से ता निज चिंता करची, निज बेनिफिट चिंता करची, निजर डेवलपमेंट, निजर बेनिफिट, निजर ये आम कथा से जमा चिंता कोन. राइट. तो ए मेंटल रिवोल्यूशन मींस वी कैन से द थॉट प्रोसेस, the perception, the prediction, the thought process, the mentality of the management, the mentality of the worker. Right? If such kind of things will hold by the management and worker, then that organization cannot grow. Said by F.W. Taylor. So what is necessary? We have to, the management and worker, both the person, both are playing a major role in the organization. Without manager, workers incomplete. Without workers, management also incomplete. So they should change the mentality, the attitude. No? They change the mentality, the thought process of the management should change the thought process of the worker. And the worker also that much of dedicated towards the management. So the management also change the thought process towards the workers. And they should change the thought process and each other. And based on this, they should adopt cooperative attitude between management and worker. Cooperative attitude, positive attitude, no, between management and worker. Management always be positive towards worker, and worker also always be positive towards management. So that ultimately the ଆମେ ଏଠି କଣ କହିବାରେ ତାମାନେ ଆମେ ଦୁଇ ଜଣକୁ ସପୋର୍ଟ କରିବା ଏ ଯୋଉ ସସ୍ପେକ୍ଟ ଆମର ଦୁଇ ଜଣ ପ୍ରତି ଏ ସବୁକୁ ହଟେଇବା, ରାଇଟ୍? ସୋ ଏଇଟାକୁ ଯଦି ଆମେ କରିପାରିବା ତାହେଲେ ଗୋଟେ ସକ୍ସେସଫୁଲ ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନ ହେଇପାରିବ. This is said by F.W. Taylor through mental revolution. ହେଲା, ବୁଝିଗଲ କି ପିଲାମାନେ? କିଛି ଆ ଭିତରେ ଡାଉଟ ଅଛି ନା କିଛି ଆଡ୍ କରିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛ ନା ପୁରା ବୁଝିଗଲ? Is it clear to you? Students, related to techniques of F.W. Taylor. ପିଲାମାନେ
ବୁଝିଗଲି।
ପୁରା କ୍ଲିୟର? କିଛି ଆଡ୍ କରିବାକୁ
Yes,
ଚାହୁଁଛ
ma'am.
ନା ପୁରା? ଓକେ ଓକେ, ହେଲା। ତ ପିଲାମାନେ ଆଚ୍ଛା, ତ ପିଲାମାନେ ଏଇଠି ହେଲା କଣ ଆମର what means we have to know a brief about F.W. Taylor and techniques of F.W. Taylor, and you have to explain in this way only. ଗୋଟେ question long question ଆସିବ, ଧର 12 mark ର question, ହେଲା। Who is F.W. Taylor and briefly explain the contribution by F.W. Taylor. So these are the contribution by F.W. Taylor, ହେଲା। ଏଇ ଯୋଉ contribution କୁ ଏମିତି କରିକି ଆକୁ ସୁନ୍ଦର ଭାବରେ explain କରିବ। Apart from the techniques of F.W. Taylor, he also contributed some principles of scientific management, standing principles, right? It relates to, or it includes the principles of scientific management related to science, not rule of thumb, differential payment, group harmony, not discord, cooperation, not individualism, and scientific selection and training. Now, what do you mean by these, students? See, science, not rule of thumb. What do you mean by this? See, science, not rule of thumb. It means, according to F.W. Taylor, he said organizations have to adapt everything systematically. No? Thumb rule. Thumb rule means the old rule, old regulation. Thumb rule. Man hela puruna. Hela? That created by someone. In the past. And that things we will implement in the future, that is not necessary. That things it may not be applicable in the present scenario. No? So thumb rule means what? That old rules, regulation, we have to change the old rule regulations. We have to change the old technique. ଆମେ କହିବା କି ଏଇଟା ହେଇଥିଲା, ହେଇ ଆସିଥିଲା ନା, ସେଟା ହେଇଥିଲା ବୋଲି ଏଇନା ହବ ବୋଲି କିଛି ମାନେ ନାହିଁ। ଦୁନିଆ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହଉଛି, ସିଷ୍ଟମ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହଉଛି। ସୋ ସେଇ ଅନୁସାରେ ଆମକୁ ବି ଚେଞ୍ଜ ଆଡପ୍ଟ କରିବାକୁ ପଡିବ, ଆମକୁ ବି ଆକ୍ସେପ୍ଟ କରିବାକୁ ପଡିବ, ଆମକୁ ବି ଇମ୍ପ୍ଲିମେଣ୍ଟ କରିବାକୁ ପଡିବ। ଆମେ ଯଦି ତାକୁ ହିଁ ଧରିକି ବସିଲେ ତାହେଲେ ଆମେ ଆଗକୁ ଯାଇପାରିବାନି, ରାଇଟ୍? ତମେ କହିବ କି ଆଗରୁ ଝିଅ ମାନେ ପାଠ ପଢୁନଥିଲେ, ସେମାନେ ରହୁଥିଲେ, ମାନେ ଏଇନା ବି ଝିଅ ମାନେ ପାଠ ପଢିବେନି, ସେମାନେ ଘରେ ରହିକି ରୋଷେଇ କରିବେ ନା। ସିଷ୍ଟମ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହେଲା, ୱାର୍ଲଡ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହେଲା, ଦୁନିଆ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହଉଛି। ଏଇନା ଝିଅ ମାନେ ସବୁଠୁ ମାନେ କଣ ନା ଫର୍ଷ୍ଟ ପୋଜିସନରେ ରହୁଛନ୍ତି। ସେତିକି ଆମେ ତାଙ୍କୁ ସ୍କୋପ ଦବା ଦରକାର। ସୋ ଯେମିତି ଆମେ କହୁଛେ ସବୁ କିଛି ୱାର୍ଲଡ ସହିତ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହଉଛି। ସୋ ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନ ରୁଲ୍ସ ରେଗୁଲେସନ ଲାଇକ ଦିସ୍। Science but not rule of the thumb means what? Whatever may be the rules, regulation, techniques, systems adopted by someone in the past, as per the requirement, we have to change in the present scenario. And we have to adapt as per the requirement of the present environment. We have to change that thought. We have to change our system. And we have to accept it and we have to adapt it. Or else, we cannot move and we cannot grow. That said by F.W. Taylor. Science not rule of thumb. Puruna thumb manela, puruna rules regulation, puruna guideline, puruna technique. No. ଆଗରୁ ଆମେ ଟାଇପରାଇଟରରେ କାମ କରୁଥିଲେ, ହେଲା। ଏଇନା ଟାଇପରାଇଟରରେ କାମ କରିବା କି? ଟାଇପରାଇଟରରେ କାମ କଲେ କେତେ ବର୍ଷ ପୂର୍ବକୁ ଯିବା? 100 ବର୍ଷ ତଳକୁ ଆମେ ଚାଲିଯିବା, ସେଇ ଟାଇପରାଇଟର ଧରିକି ବସିଥିବା। ଆଡଭାନ୍ସ ଟେକ୍ନୋଲୋଜି ଆସିଲାଣି, କମ୍ପ୍ୟୁଟର ଆସିଲାଣି, ପୁରା କମ୍ପ୍ୟୁଟରରେ ପୁଣି ଆମର पूरा सुपर फास्ट कंप्यूटर आसी गलानी सेही पुराना कंप्यूटर भी 50 वर्ष तलर भी से भी काम दउनी हाँ कारण से अनुसार हमर मशीनरी इक्विपमेंट सब चेंज हलानी आमे ना 5G एरा रे आसी पहुंचले सुपर फास्ट वर्क सो सेही अनुसार हमको चेंज करिया पड़बो सेड बाय एफडब्ल्यू टेलर खाली सीए नहीं हमको मध्य तमे सही पुराना स्टाइल को नेकी पुराना सिस्टम को नेकी चलबा आमे भी आगु को जाई परिबनी कंपनी हमको सिलेक्शन नहीं करिवनी हमको सही टाइप रो चेंज करिया पड़िबो निज को वी हैव टू चेंज इन आवरसेल्फ राइट that is not rule of the thumb science means as for the new system new trend that we have to adapt in ourselves not only by the organization but also in our life also बुझिलो पिला माने बुझिलो कि रे yes ना students
Yes, ma'am.
okay चलो rest of the things आउ जा टेक्निक अछि tomorrow I will discuss हैला आउ जो चारटा टेक्निक अछि करी कंप्लीट करी कि we will move towards the Henry Fuel contribution हैला Henry Fuel का contribution कुछ who is Henry Fuel and what are the contribution by Henry Fuel tomorrow we will discuss ठीक है तो thank you so much students I hope कि clearly बुझुथुबो न बुझिले पचारथुबो हैला bye bye मैं to stop कली क्लास को good day
Ma'am, slides टिए शेयर कर करिए
क्लास सरिला परे आफ्टर कंप्लीशन ऑफ द क्लास जब तमर
Okay,
ऑफलाइन क्लास हबो ना ऑफलाइन क्लास हबो ना ना कोन गोटे हबो सेटा देखिबानी कोन होचे दि चार
okay,
दिन
okay, ma'am.
क्लास चाहू से अनुसार देखि के हम ये करबा हैला
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
ओके बाय बाय